some things don't change, and just a stone's throw away is the hallowed ground of Roker Park, where week by week generations of supporters have loyally followed the fortunes of Sunderland Football Club.
The football club didn't grow steadily, it exploded. It was formed in 1879, and 10 years later the team was called the Team of All the Talents. It was dubbed that by the Aston Villa chairman. When they joined the Football League in 1890, in the first 5 seasons they won the championship 3 times. An amazing start. And this made the town a football town, and for many people, for the first time, they had pride in the name of Sunderland. I came here first, my father brought me, and he would take me up into the Roker end there. It was further back, higher, concrete, and it was safe for children to be brought. He'd pay a bob to get in, 6pence for me. I saw Charlie Buchan briefly. He left here in 1925. Tall, guardsman-like figure. Very good at close dribbling. We used to say the ball was tied to his laces. Then later on, the great side of the 30s, with people like Patsy Gallagher and Jimmy Connor and Raich Carter and Bobby Gurney. Mainly Scott, but some English in it. Then the cup year, when they won the cup for the first time, it was thought Sunderland would never win the cup, you know, because they'd been so near to it in the Team of the Talents time and failed. But they did it in 37, and here, again in a quarter-final against Wolverhampton, Wolves scored through a fella called Galley 4 minutes from the end. And just about here, at the end of the grandstand, right on time, Thompson took a throw-in, and Dunn's shoved it back to him. And Thompson pushed it to Gurney, who was somewhere near the edge of the penalty area, a bit further out, and he hit it first down with his left foot, just as his marker Stan Cullis crashed into him, and somehow the ball went through a packed goal mouth and trickled over the line. I remember my shouting, "Goal, goal." I had a trilby on, and I was putting the trilby up, and I was shouting, "Goal, goal, goal," and I was aware of myself doing it, but I couldn't stop.
We used to hang outside the ground for the last 10 minutes, which you were let in free. And at the full end then, as I remember it, there was a grassy bank and a wooden fence at the top. And if you got up there in time, for the last 10 minutes, there was a sort of pipe ran along the back of this fence, which if you could stand on it and put your hands on the fence, you had the best view in the ground. And that's where I used to see my idols of Raich Carter and Bobby Gurney, and even before then, Jimmy Connor. He was my number one. The atmosphere was absolutely fantastic. As a little lad, I've been in that crowd of 50,000 and more, and never felt really in any threat. If you were in trouble, you were just handed down over the crowd to the front. And it was a fabulous atmosphere.
After the war, we came into the days of Len Shackleton and Broadus and Ford. And it was a team which very nearly won the championship and very nearly got to Wembley. Under the chairman, Bill Ditchburn, it was known as the Bank of England Club. But there were illegal payments, there were inquiries, and Bill Ditchburn was put out of the game. There was antipathy in the board too against Bill. The manager at the time, soft-spoken Bill Murray, was heartbroken. And he resigned, and Alan Brown came in his place. Now, Alan Brown was admirable in many ways, but he got rid of the experienced players too quickly. The result was that the following season, the almost unacceptable happened. Sunderland were relegated. They had then been 67 years in the First Division.
The 50s began a period of significant change in Sunderland. The trams, those stately galleons that served the streets diligently for so long, had gone beyond their sell-by date. The Grand Hotel, the finest that Sunderland could boast, closed its doors. And a few years later, the final body blow, they demolished the town hall.
It was a lovely old building And I'm pretty sure that had they had the vision, they could have kept it and put a department of the council into it. It would have maintained the street's integrity.
It was a beautiful building. You went in, it had this lovely staircase with the brass rails and the curving stairs and the red carpet, and to me that was a town hall.
But there was some good news. Cinemas were booming. Seaburn was beginning to change its face. And the Sunderland Empire was attracting some of the big names in the world of show business.
It was very popular. There were variety acts there that really brought the house down. But mind if a variety act didn't strike a chord with the audience that you really used to get the works. They were booed and booed off very strongly from the stage. If it was good, they accepted it, but if it was bad, they were nowhere. Very critical, the Sunderland crowd.
There were 15 cinemas in Sunderland at that time, and they were all, or nearly all, big ones. And that there again, I mean, people went sometimes twice a week. I always went at least once because my grandmother took me a lot, and my father was addicted to Will Hay and the old comedians like that. He only took you if it was something he wanted to see, but my grandmother took me and I was allowed to choose. This was a big Saturday entertainment, and the biggest value in town was the Regal Cinema, which later became the Odeon in Homeside. Now there, for your 1 and 9pence for an adult, you saw 2 films and also a stage show, or there was a mighty Wurlitzer organ that came up from down below with a man in a white suit playing away there and all the spotlights on him. And but the stage shows were wonderful. Even people as well known as Wilson, Keppel and Betty, the well-known sand dancers, used to be on and sing. And she always had a long evening dress on and a long chiffon scarf, which she trailed through her fingers and waved about, you know, the sort of Vera Lynn type of lady. And, I mean, talk about getting your money's worth, and this was all for 1 and 9. Beautiful.
Once the Seaburn Hotel was built, and the few shops alongside it, which were a cafe and an ice cream parlour and a sweet shop, and so the crowds began to gather on Seaburn Beach too, and it became even more popular, I think, than Roker. Great days down there. There's a fairground, and of course I remember the little train that used to run around the boating pool, and we used to call them the speed boats, but they used to chug along at about 1 knot per hour, I think, but great days.
Of course, dance halls were the thing that you got interested in, because that was where you met boys, of course. And the main dance halls in Sunderland were the Rink, the Seaburn Hall on the seafront, which was very popular. We thought we were trendy, but of course we weren't. I mean, you couldn't be trendy in those days because, first of all, there were no teenage fashions as we know them now, none at all. And we, the girls, were really like a cut-down version of their mothers. Quite frankly, the teenagers and young people nowadays wouldn't have been seen dead in what we wore.
I used to go usually about 8:30, 9 o'clock. If you were keen on dancing, that was when there was space, and that was when the people who were keen on dancing used to go. Because at 10:30, those who'd been to the pub rolled in. After that, you danced with your shoulders because you were literally wedged close together and you couldn't move.
Subscribe to our channel and we'll let you know when there's a new video to watch. The subscribe button is below the video next to the like, share and comment icons. To watch another video, just click on one of the pictures above the arrows now.